Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight we're going to be doing another class in the series on Taurus, ascendant, and Venus in the different signs. Tonight we'll be doing Venus in Virgo. And again, it's an interesting combination here. Here you have an Earth ascendant with Venus in an Earth sign. Right? And the fifth house is an excellent house. Right? It's the house of children, the house of love affairs, the house of relationships, and so it's let's say a person who has Taurus ascendant. Taurus is naturally one of the two sexual signs, right? The Taurus is the female sexual nature, Scorpio the male. So when you have a Taurus rising, there's always going to be a strong inclination towards romantic involvements and reproduction. Right? The moon is exalted in Taurus because Taurus is moon is life, right? And when you have the moon in Taurus, there's a tremendous reproductive desire. So it makes it very strong. It wants to give life, and when you have the moon in Taurus. But in any case, so as we're talking about here tonight with Venus in Virgo. In the fifth house, there's one problem here is that Venus in Virgo is considered in fall. Right? There's a certain weakness to Venus in Virgo because it's in fall. And what's the problem with Venus in Virgo? Is that the Virgo is very cerebral, very mercurial sign, and it's and so when you have Venus is the planet of love, and love is not so cerebral as a general rule. Right? If you start to think about love and analyzing love, it sort of just goes away because it can't be analyzed and thought about so easily. And so Venus is a tendency towards trying to quantify and trying to describe love maybe too much and to understand it. And so it takes away some of the power. On the other hand, Venus is exalted in Pisces, because their Pisces is like, wants universal love. It wants love beyond boundaries. And so it's very, very strong there in Pisces. But in any case, when a person has Taurus rising and Venus in Virgo, there's going to be a strong connection with romance and children and things like that. There's a Taurian is going to want a Taurus ascendant, especially a woman here. With Venus in the fifth, is going to be very, very desirous of having children and a strong reproductive instinct. How good it is or bad it is, you have to know as a general rule that, for example, if you have a planet that's in fall, right? It's better. You always have to look. In general, you always have to look at the ruling planet, what the dispositor of the ruling planet is. Right? So, say if you have Venus in the fifth house in Virgo, which is in fall, then you want to look at Mercury, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. So, say you have Venus in Virgo with also Mercury in Virgo, which is an honor. So then the Venus is going to give itself up to Mercury and make a big improvement on the fifth house. So bring the planet, lift the planet up. The person's going to start in fall, but eventually it's going to give itself up to Mercury and become in honor. And we're going to have a separate series of classes on how the dispositorships work and things like that. But again, you always want to look. Say if you have a Virgo, Venus in Virgo, and then Mercury is, let's say, in Pisces, so that would be more difficult in a certain way, because then Mercury is also in fall. So you have a planet in fall giving itself up to another planet in fall, which can cause a certain weakness in the chart. So everything has to be understood. You have to look at everything in context. Venus in Virgo in itself is fall, but it can be improved or it can be debilitated more, and you have to do that with comparing it to the different situations. But ideally, it's not a destructive fall, because Venus is a benefic, and here it's in a benefic house, and Virgo is a good sign. It's not a sign of any of the malefics. So I always consider it to be a very nice aspect and a good combination for success in life and for success in marital type of relationship type of affairs and for having children. And I thank everybody for listening and hope they enjoyed the class.